Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe P's up here with me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, my peanuts and cracker jacks, hanging out, talking a little baseball. We finally got the call-up we've been waiting for. We've got a ton of injuries to talk about, a couple big strikeout performances, but first and foremost, it's somebody's birthday. It's the birthday boy, the Welsh, turning 29. I can only assume. Happy birthday, big guy. What are you doing on your special day?
Oh, it's going to be sending you a bad letter for calling me big guy. That's at the top, the tippy top of the insults you can call someone that is big and tall. But yes, thank you very much. I think I even mentioned this. Greatest birthday present. Nick Kurtz coming to the majors, making his major league debut on my birthday. I couldn't ask for anything more. Also going up against Patrick Corbin, which will be hilarious just in full tow. But thank you very much, my friends. Glad to spend my birthday with all of you.
Yes, my Twitter timeline exploded all of a sudden. Everyone from the show just sending me and tweeting at me, Nick Kurtz, oh my God. And I hadn't looked at it in a while. I was at practice, flag football stuff. I got a big tournament this weekend. And when I checked after, oh boy, like that was some fun, exciting news. So that was great to see. We sort of talked about it yesterday on prospecting with the Welsh. We said it's got to be this week. It has to be this week. Enough is enough. We were right. Thank God that video came out yesterday. And here we go.
Yeah, no, it was like, it would have been really irrelevant quick, but it was a good litmus test on the prospects. I think we have been hitting it very well for a couple years, especially in the logical breakdowns across the board. And this was one of them. It's like, we were like, how can he get there? The only way that Nick Kurtz can get there, and he will, is by Brent Rooker going in the outfield. Then he goes in the outfield, and that first day, everyone's like, oh, it's just a day off. Oh, well. And then it's more and more, and we got there. It was the way to do it. The timeline makes sense. We got there. Nick Kurtz saving it for the birthday. It's beautiful, and I think we're going to put you guys always in a really good spot for these prospects. Bubba Chandler will be the next one we obsess over, and that will come soon. But lefty on lefty action tonight, so hold your expectations a tiny bit. This is going to be a tough one. Apparently, Patrick Corbin has Spider-Man-like powers after being bit by the... Did you see that story when you were gone?
No, I saw nothing when I was gone.
Dude, Arico and I bet against him, of course, because it's Patrick Corbin. He looked like Clayton Kershaw. We found out after the game. Before the game, he could barely walk because he got bit by a venomous spider. Patrick Corbin did. And he threw out like this amazing game. So I don't know. We'll see. Nick Kurtz might need to, we are Venom. We are Nick.
Yeah, we definitely need some more spider bites around here. Well, happy birthday, my friend. Oh my God, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yikes. That looks painful. I just want to say.
But it gave him his powers. Painful. So he's Spider-Man. Nick Kurtz will be Venom.
He better get a ton of spiders, though. It's a long season. He's going to have to figure this out. I don't know how long it lasts. And Patrick Corbin, I'll still bet against him. But before we get to more headlines, I see the questions piling up. I love all the birthday love that Welsh is getting here in the comments. That's fantastic. And of course, don't forget, we're on our Twitch live every single Monday through Friday, noon, twitch.tv/fantasypros. We are also on YouTube every single day, video on demand. So if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, drop your comments below. Why? Because you might win this bad boy, a fun Nico Hoerner jersey signed by Nico Hoerner. Funny enough, thanks to our good friends at Pristine Auction. All you need to do to win this bad boy is subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB. Drop your comments below how excited you are about Nick Kurtz, or you just want to wish Welsh a happy birthday, which is actually a difficult thing to say, a lot of alliteration there. Any of those stupid comments could win you this jersey. So ring the bell till it goes ding so you don't miss a moment of content, and we can let you know if you are the big winner. Let's talk about more big winners. Mad Max Meyer. What a performance. 14 strikeouts, 6 scoreless against the Reds. His ERA is at 2.10. His whip is at 1.07. This is the prince we were promised years ago. We waited so long for Max Meyer, but this outing, Welsh, this one is going to put him in a whole different conversation because we've got, questions here. Here's JD. I've been using Meyer as my streamer. Now I know to keep him in, use a different pitcher in that spot. I agree. You have to leave him in there. Ober, Bubic, Wisniewski. I don't know which one you prefer today of that grouping. I know Ober and Bubic on the mound, but you can pick the streamer. But let's talk about Max Meyer, Welsh, because he is now looking like the ace that's what scouts were telling us he was going to become before all the injuries, before all the mismanagement. Now he has officially arrived, I feel like, after last night.
I completely agree. I was actually watching this one live on my my personal Twitch, the In This League Twitch, and because I had the Nerfy, so we were we were sweating that out with Nick Lodolo and Max.
I love to sweat a good Nerfy.
Yeah, everyone does, especially on a birthday. But Meyer early on looked devastating. His slider looked absolutely devastating. Just there's just one in the first inning that it was just this early bite down low in the zone, and then when we look back on it, this is actually crazy. His four-seam fastball of the 5 pitches he threw yesterday was the lowest usage of any pitch. His sinker was the third lowest usage. 64% slider and changeup. He went secondaries on this. He induced 24 whiffs. Mackenzie Gore, I think, is the season leader with 28 in the game so far. Velo was up on the secondaries, down a little bit on the fastball. He had this. Wow, this is crazy. I didn't even see this. 76% whiff rate on his slider. 16 of 21 swings were guys swinging through his slider, which is absolutely absurd. 40% on the changeup, 50% on the sweeper. He's doing what any great pitcher does: is you take that fastball, you hit it in the zone when you can. And I think he ended up having, he had 89% zone rate on his four seam, 75 on his sinker, and then you kill him with secondaries. And that is exactly what happened here. He is a big time strikeout pitcher. His command was as best as I've ever seen. It's one of the best outings I've ever seen. His pitch mix was impeccable. I think I agree here. Max Meyer moves way up that list. I think he's in the territory of like the Mackenzie Gore, where I'm saying Mackenzie Gore is like a top 30, 35 type of SP. I think Max Meyer is in that same general range. And shout out to that segment we did on Fantasy Fest with Lance Brozdowski, where he's talking up some of those Marlins pitchers and Max Meyer being one of them.
Yeah, he also talked about Edward Cabrera. So
not everything's a winner, Joe. Not everything.
Not everything is a winner, but Max Meyer certainly was for sure. Did he get bit by a spider? That's the only question.
Maybe.
Whatever's going around, that's good. Walker Buehler was also good. 1 run, 7 innings, struck out 9. Love that Patriots day. Morning baseball, brunch and baseball. I like
hate
that
it.
game.
Hate
it.
No, it was like halfway over before I woke up. I don't like that stuff.
Well, and as East Coasters, we get that.
East Coast bias is ridiculous.
Baseball. East Coast bias in the hails. See my vest. Will Detroit's new closer actually be the guy here? Will Vest, second save here, pitched the 9th Monday against the Padres. So is Will Vest officially the new closer of the Detroit Tigers?
I'm not 100% sure. They seem to have an easy rotation across the board. I think Will Vest right now. Will Vest does look relatively ridiculous. It's a sub-1 ERA, a .62 WHIP. He's probably going to get multiple opportunities here. His walks are a little high. We're going to have to see if that kind of ends up blowing up. I would say right now, Will Vest is a really good closing streamer to jump in on that he might hold down the gig. But I do think it's a turnstile with the Tigers. I think it's like, if he doesn't have it, they're going to go somewhere else. But yeah, at this point, we're out of the heavy investment in closers or speculative closers that are out there. This guy is kind of getting everyone's picked up everybody. There are no Pagans and there's no Justin Martinez's and no Luke Jacksons. There really is nobody. So we really have to start playing the setup game, the 8th inning guys. People are talking about Yoho who's getting picked up by the Brewers. You got to play the 8th inning guys for speculative saves. This is not. So I would go pick up the Will of Vest.
Quick trivia question here for you, Welsh. What was Mr. Burns' vest made out of in the famous "See My Vest" song?
I don't even know it.
"See My Vest" made from real. What? Come on.
Is that from The Simpsons?
Yes, from
Mr.
The
Burns?
Simpsons. "See My Vest." That's a classic episode.
Probably made out of children's tears or something.
Come on, let's go.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
Jacks. You guys know it. Put the trivia question out there. In the meantime, let's get some real questions out here. We have is Max Meyer the new ace of Miami? Maybe, perhaps he is. Let's get to this one too. I want to say there's Christian Walker, who we're going to talk about in the buy sell video today. We're going to record that right after the show, so be on the lookout. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Christian Walker, somebody dropped him on waivers, which is horrendously stupid. So who would you drop to Adam, Nimmo or Dominguez?
I would drop. I'd probably drop Nimmo. I guess.
I'd probably
I don't
go
think
Dominguez.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me look at Dominguez like for a second. I mean, Nimmo's fine. I think it's relatively average, but kind of Dominguez is as well. But there's just like even higher stolen base probability. Yeah, Dominguez over 30% K percentage right now. He's pretty mediocre. If this is a 10-team league, though,
record.
Yeah, but if it's a 10-team league, like I think you could probably drop all these guys. That Nimmo actually probably is the least of them, since you can turnstile it. I'm pretty optimistic that Christian Walker is going to be able to bounce back from this, but things are looking pretty bad right now. He's super streaky.
Nah, it's fine. He's turning it around. Here's one question. Happy birthday, Welsh. Jordan and Story for Corbin Carroll. What side do you want to be on this one?
Corbin Carroll. I'm actually going to talk about the potentials of selling Trevor Story. And obviously, like, he's going off and crazy, but if you're going to even ever think and consider to move a guy like Mike Trout, you should consider moving a guy like Trevor Story, who is always hurt, always hurt. It's a decent return, but if I were selling Corbin Carroll right now, I would want more than Jordan, because Carroll's like plate change is massive. I mean, like the way if you look at some of the underlying batting stance data, like he's gotten closer to the plate, which is allowing him to barrel quicker.
Oh yeah,
he is a monster. Yeah, he's like an NL Aaron Judge right now, but at 5'10". So I mean, I think Corbin Carroll's on a completely another level that he's locked into. He's a top 3 to 4 fantasy option on the season, so I would need a lot more.
Stefan D got it. Gorilla chest. See my vest, made from real gorilla chest. It's hilarious. It's an all-time great episode. I love this. Old School Simpsons was great.
I haven't watched Simpsons in like forever. Are they? I have no idea.
Every now and then recently, I've been popping on some of the new ones just to see like where is it at. Still pretty solid. Like I gotta say, it's surprisingly decent. Tylor Megill was surprisingly decent too. He got into trouble in the second inning. He hasn't given up a run in the first or second inning all year so far. He had 10 strikeouts, a career high, 5 1/3 shutout innings. Boy, oh boy, that slap nut sewn together Mets pitching staff's been pretty good.
I think one of the best in baseball right now, ERA wise, like incredible.
They were the best in baseball for the first 3 weeks. I don't know if they still are at that mark, but yesterday went a long way for it. Now in that same game, I did watch Aaron Nola, who continues to struggle. 6 1/3 innings for him. Now we've seen this before, where Aaron Nola can have some bad months and bad stretches. This is always what keeps Aaron Nola away from being a top end fantasy starter. He has typically a bad month every year somewhere. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's later. The FIP right now is a 4.89. He's got a 6.43 ERA, a 1.61 WHIP, but the strikeout to walk ratio is right there. 31 strikeouts, 11 walks. He continues to look like he's just not comfortable right now. So it doesn't look like injury. It seems like the velocity's okay. Everything seems all right with Aaron Nola. I think this is your typical Aaron Nola, just hasn't found that feel. And when he hits that groove, you know it and I know it. He then becomes one of these unhittable guys for a good 6-week stretch. I'd be looking to buy him. We're going to talk more about him on the video as well. Are you where I am when it comes to Aaron Nola too, where you just feel like this is an opportunity and it's real tough to get a quality starting pitcher, especially one as durable as Aaron Nola? He has been super durable over the years too.
Yeah, I think it's innings and durability that are interesting and that he's really, really struggling. From the profile perspective, he is doing something kind of weird that he's lowered. So he's always like a curve guy, knuckle curve, kind of like Zach Allen, but he's going sinker over 4-seam, but his sinker. Oh, no. Okay, so these both have, never mind. They both decreased in velo. So he's lost about a mile per hour on velo across the board, which is definitely something to watch. But I do think there's kind of a feel perspective on it. And maybe he just doesn't have the curve where he wants it. It's getting hit pretty hard, that the expected batting average is lower, but there's just a lot of barreling, a lot of contact. And looking at previous years, he does have some weird early first half splits, but last year, May and April, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball, sub-3 ERA. Then in June, it fell apart. In 2023, that was a better representation. He had an over 4 ERA all the way through July, and then he kind of bounced back. I think if you can get him on the cheap simply because of team context and him going deep in the game, that's great. But I'm not sure he's going to be like a fantasy ace. He's not going to do a Blake Snell where first half he's the worst pitcher, second half he's the best pitcher in all of baseball. But I do think he's a buy.
All right, some transactions yesterday, Welsh, which you don't get a lot of these necessarily. We got a bunch in one day. The Cubs acquired Drew Pomeranz. That was a name that kind of hit me, upside the head sideways there for cash considerations for the Mariners. Like there's a name just I haven't thought of in a long time.
I saw him in camp with the Mariners a couple times.
Right,
actually,
the Mariners. That's where they bought him from. They bought themselves a nice Pomeranz, a 2021 Pomeranz, gets good gas mileage. I don't know what they're going to do with him. We'll see.
No CD player or anything like that, but and you have to roll up the windows yourself. But you know what? It's efficient.
Well, the Cubs are looking for pitching help, obviously anywhere they can get it. And Triston McKenzie got designated for assignment by the Guardians. Now, that's interesting to me if you're the Cubs, because why not take a flyer and see? Like maybe you can get him into your organization. Maybe there's something you could work with, maybe just a fresh start. I don't know, but I would look to see what happens with that one. I don't know if he's just going to end up taking that assignment at the end of the day. My guess is somebody will claim him and a deal will be worked out. The Diamondbacks sent Jake McCarthy down to AAA. He's hitting .073 on the year, no homers, 3 ribbies, 1 steal through 14 games. He's been dreadful. And it's funny, Welsh, you were always an anti-McCarthy guy, not just in the 50s during the Senate hearings and all that stuff, but also during Jake McCarthy's career. Then all of a sudden, Jake McCarthy became useful. And then now he is back down. So what's it like to be right on the back end here after Jake McCarthy kind of stuck it to you in 2024 a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the long term, it feels good. He's been dreadful. I actually mentioned this yesterday on the Prospecting with the Welsh video, and that was in tow to Jordan Lawler. Jordan Lawler is one of the hottest minor leaguers out there. And even said that one thing you would like to see is maybe Jake McCarthy go away, and then you could start moving some pieces around where, if Lawler was playing the outfield, it would make a little bit more sense. But word came out, John Gambadoro, who I actually used to work with, I used to work for him in Phoenix radio, big local Phoenix guy. Because there's been no information about what that move is going to be, he reports that it's Jorge Barosa that is going to be coming up, which is a huge disappointment that Tim Tawa and Jorge Barosa are still options before Jordan Lawler, because this would have been the time. He has been a freaking monster, but McCarthy's going down. They're bringing another outfielder up, which, again, I just don't think you really need to, because you've got Gurriel, you've got Grichuk, you've got Carroll. Like, you've got the pieces. I would have loved to see Jordan Lawler come up. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. And McCarthy, he's going to have to try to get it figured out like Alec Thomas did, because he's a big stolen base guy, lots of contact, great defense, but none of those things are playing together this year. So Jorge Barosa, not a fantasy option.
Last transaction, Logan Henderson option to AAA, which we kind of knew was coming, but he will be back. He pitched incredibly well in that first start. Logan Henderson will make more starts. So if somebody drops him, this is your opportunity to pick him up. Rookie Lookie, Augustin Martinez, 2 for 3 in his debut with a double and a steal. Did you see any highlights of the Augustin Martinez?
I saw some highlights of
Ramirez,
that big.
When I say Martinez, Ramirez. My apologies.
Yeah, Augustin Ramirez. Sorry, there's an Alex Ramirez. It was with the Mets. But yeah, Augustin Ramirez with that smash to center. It was like a ground rule double. It's very, very impressive. And that was the thing I told you guys when I brought him up. He's a catcher that steals bases, steals a base in his first one, and he hits the ball consistently. The big question is going to be at the major league level. How is he going to be as far as a batter? Is he going to strike out a bunch? Is he going to get hit with a bunch of secondaries? This game, he showed off when things are clicking who he is. And that's why he's a 2-catcher option that we mentioned. Not a single catcher. But you know what? If it's a deep league and you guys like to carry second catchers, maybe you do get a look at him, because I think he's going to play his way on. Very fantasy relevant. 2 hits, a stolen base, ridiculous on the catcher side. You got to love it. You got to love the prospect catchers paying off.
Yeah, certainly one that's got a little speed there. So we'll all keep an eye on Augustin Ramirez and make sure that he is added in some leagues. I did a video on him yesterday, yet I still screwed up his name today, because why? I've got NFL draft brain. That's why, because this is my week where things go a little sideways. But the draft coverage is going to be great here on Fantasy Pros. Make sure you watch it. It's going to be super fun. Bogman, Erickson, myself, and of course, D-Bro, Derek Brown, the King of Bros. They're all going to be on here on Fantasy Pros, regular channel, not the MLB one. Jerry and a couple other people asking about the Yoho pickup. Is that something you're looking to do? We're talking about saves. Is this another way we want to go or no?
I don't know. I'm torn on this. You don't often see like
a tear your Yoho. That sounds painful.
I don't either. I'm old now. I'm very old. I can't afford to tear my Yoho.
Every birthday you're getting closer and closer to tearing.
Joe almost teared his Yoho during the home run contest.
I did. It's still a little sore. I'm not gonna lie. I was out of practice yesterday. I was able to throw footballs. That was okay. But I will say this: I did get that lighter metal bat around pretty good.
Yeah, you did. By the way, also we played the kids. We did old people versus the kids, a little football, and we destroyed, as we should.
As we should.
Show to
Although
me right there.
Michaela was working at a bit of a deficit. Throwing some, I think at some point, like
she had a couple touchdowns
cousin,
to my kid, so that worked.
Yeah, your son was picking up the slack there. My because he's a soccer player. He doesn't know about using his hands catching footballs.
Back on the Yoho. So on the Yoho side, I don't think it's quite often that you're going to see like a prospect pitcher as good as Yoho is to come in and just take over like some closer role. I tend to think he's going to be put in some, especially because you got to remember, this is Pat Murphy, old school manager. I think you're going to get lower leverage situations for him. So if you want, you can speculate on it. I personally would probably speculate on Shelby Miller before he did with him, because Puck, we're going to probably find out today, Justin Martinez was having general soreness why he didn't get a save. And Shelby Miller has been relatively phenomenal this year with the fastball, and there's no Ginkle. So I think that Shelby Miller could get saves this week before Yoho. But a long-term option, he could be a guy that jumps into the rotation. I just don't think off the shoot.
Can't believe we talked about Shelby Miller and Drew Pomeranz on the show today. I did not have that on my bingo card. I can tell you that right
from the
now.
Past, man.
Game Over wants to know, why is Gunther trying to kill Pat McAfee? I don't know, but I'm glad he is. And that's the happiest thing that I've seen in wrestling.
Why do you not like Pat McAfee?
He was okay in the beginning. I liked him in NXT and all that stuff that he did. I give him a lot of credit for getting in the ring. I know he trained and everything like that. But at some point, it just got too much, and he just doesn't know when to let it breathe. And he keeps doing that stupid pencil flip every time he's on camera. It's super annoying. Gunther choked him out on Raw, which was the best Raw at WrestleMania in years. New in this ring podcast I just recorded, just dropped, thanks to the Welsh. He just uploaded for me, but that made me pop. I was very excited for that. He choked him out. He turned blue last night. It was crazy. Not a hater. I just don't want him on my wrestling anymore.
It was the best WrestleMania Raw, post WrestleMania Raw, following the worst WrestleMania.
It wasn't the worst WrestleMania. It was you'll hear my breakdown of it. It was a mid-level WrestleMania that was bound to happen after the iconic WrestleMania that we got last year. WrestleMania. That's kind of what it was. Some good moments, a couple good moments here, a couple fun moments there. One great match over 2 nights. That was it. Also great, by the way, my playbook. So if you're managing 1 league or 1,000 leagues, manage all of them with my playbook from FantasyPros. It's the greatest suite of tools you'll ever find. It'll help you make better decisions, manage your lineups, and win your leagues, because that's what it's all about. It's about winning. Import your team for free. Get custom fantasy baseball news, rankings, and analysis, and sync your leagues today over at fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook. Or just be like the cool kids and download Fantasy Baseball My Playbook app wherever you get your apps from, and let us help you be dominant in your fantasy baseball endeavors. 3 up and 3 down. Hunter Brown, he was great. 7 scoreless. Struck out 9 guys yesterday against the Blue Jays. Francisco Lindor, 2 for 3, 2 homers, including a leadoff homer to start the game. Got a little My Girl at the top, little singing. Next thing you know, boom, home runs happening. And I love this new version of the Mets that owns the Phillies. Oh, right in the feels. It's just in the cockles of my heart. So warm. Gavin Williams, 2-run ball, 6 1/3.
He was
out 8 in a win over the Yankees. Go for it, Welsh.
He was amazing. That was another one that I was locked into. I was really, really surprised. Unfortunately, stupid dummy here was on the Yankee side, and that was going well for a little bit until they cranked that homer. But Gavin Williams looked phenomenal. A really interesting, weird mix of how that fastball, he touched 100, 99, 100 consistently. It's just very flatline fastball, but it comes in from an angle. But then that sweeper, he was just dinking it. I was very, very impressed with what we saw from Gavin Williams. It looked like that version from spring training, and he probably just needed a couple games to find some consistency. Yeah. Yankees definitely strike out a bit, but I thought it was a very, very good sighting and good showing for a guy if maybe he's available out there to pick up.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Gavin Williams was, I think, on week 1 of our buy lows, because he got out of the gate a little rickety, and we said, look,
but it had been like 4 starts that were really bad. It was questioning a lot.
Yeah, but we were on it right away after the first 2 starts. I'm almost positive. I want to say it was the second, it might have been the first of the trade videos, because I don't think we did one that first week. I think it was the first of the trade videos in week 2, the first full week, where we said, Gavin Williams, buy him right now. This is probably your only window. So if you listened and you did, you're in good shape. I want to shout out Jay Stang. First time listening live. I listen every single day on my way to work. You guys are awesome. I don't know if Jay's taking a day off from work. I don't know what they're doing, but thank you for joining us live. We appreciate
it. It's Earth Day, Joe. It's not just my birthday. It's Earth Day.
It's Earth Day. It's Welsh Day. Any other?
It's also New Hat Day. You didn't even mention, by the way. Yeah, I'll mention that. But we are back in. We have a hat. Actually, had a listener send this to me. It's like the Whataburger Texas Frisco hat.
I've never had a Whataburger. I got no reference for the Whataburger.
You missed out when you were here. That's a big. That's the number one.
My youngest wanted to try the Cane's chicken because that's also not by us. And
really?
Been craving to try the Cane sauce, which we did. We even bought the big vat of Cane sauce, which did not disappoint. I gotta say, the Cane's was pretty solid.
Whataburger would not disappoint either. But the hat collection is starting back up. Someone asked me earlier, what's the number one hat? I would probably want to get back the Hillsborough hops, because that's the one the dog really ate. So we're getting back the hat collection, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to build it back. Let's do it. Oh yeah, maybe it's Corpus Christi. I said Frisco, Corpus Christi. But also shout out to some of the new people. We had Crunch on the follow. McTunda subscribed. Our boy McTunda subscribing with Prime.
McTunda's an OG. What it took you so long, McTunda? What are you doing?
Well, yeah, we had Peter Cools and McTunda both subscribed with Prime. We are now 3 away, friends. 3 away from hitting our goal in April of 100 subs. So thank you guys for doing
3 more. Subscribe. Hang out with us. Jay, don't get fired at work, by the way, for listening live. So that's a bad idea. Don't get fired at work. There was a question here I wanted to find. Where was it? It was about Manzardo or Simpson. Can't find it right now, but I do remember seeing it. I thought it was interesting. It was a category league. And my initial reaction is Manzardo's the guy you want of those two. But I understand Simpson might be so good at that single thing of stealing bases that he might have just a different sort of value. Well, maybe it's roster dependent. Do you have any input on that one? I'm trying to find who.
Yeah, so the only
P5 had the question. Manzardo.
Oh yeah, it's the exact question you said. Manzardo or pick up Simpson, 12-team Cats. So here's the only thing that I'm positive about with Chandler Simpson. It's actually not just one category. It's going to be 3 categories, because one thing we saw in his debut, he led off. And if you're going to have opportunities where he leads off, that's going to push the runs. So there's a couple guys. It's shades of like what we talked about with like a Victor Scott or a few of these other players, where it's like, you're going to get batting average with him. We are going to get, I feel like this week, by the way, we're going to get where he grounds out to the shortstop and Chandler Simpson is going to beat it home and everyone's going to share it. So put that in there. He's going to get you average. He's going to score runs because a team scores runs. And if he's hitting at the top of the lineup, that's there. And he's going to be one of the most aggressive base stealers. He's got like the 3rd or 2nd highest odds today to steal a base, because that's who he is. So I'm cool with it. Also because, like, man, I think Manzardo is going to be okay. I think he's going to finish the year as like a 240, 250 type of hitter. I think he's going to have significant homers. He's got 7 right now. I will say, though, he's hitting 217. His expected batting average is lower than that, but he's barreling, he's hitting the ball hard, he's walking, he's getting the ball in the air. Those things are going to work well, and there's a nice little stream in right field for the homers to fly. So I think the answer to this is dependent on what you're looking for. Completely 2 different things. Manzardo is homers, probably RBI. Chandler Simpson is literally the other 3 categories. I tend to lean Chandler Simpson right now because I think he can be a little bit more of a game changer in categories, but it's very, very close because I think Manzardo is being underrated.
I think it's Manzardo. I can give you the 3 categories that I like. I think it's easier to find steals now than it is power. I want the power guy.
I thought that preseason, but dude, Jake McCarthy's dead. Victor Robles is dead. Like all these stolen base guys.
The rules allow for more guys to get into the pile of
Corbin Carroll's not stealing bases anymore.
Well, he may today. Stay tuned for the betting. I got a feel on this one. Uncle Baby Billy traded a Rise and Abbott for Michael Harris and Pepio. Dynasty category, good or bad move? I think great.
Phenomenal move.
So I think you did the thing here.
Did it, Baby Billy?
Down. Yeah, Uncle Baby Billy knows what to do. Randy Vasquez, 6 runs, 6 outs on Monday. Not a good game for him. Clarke Schmidt, I know people were bitching about him in the chat earlier. I see you, Clarke Schmidt haters. 5 runs, 4 innings. Let's give him some time to work his way back and get settled again. And then Alexis Diaz, 3 runs in an inning and a third. Does Diaz ever see the closer role again, or do you think that's done?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to definitely get that opportunity. They wanted to slow roll him there. I don't think Emilio Pagan is the answer. I think Bednar too. Bednar came back up. I think you're going to get save opportunities from both of those guys in the near future.
Okay.
I pick him up.
Lots of injuries, and maybe we buried the lead here a little bit. Maybe this should have been the top of the show. Spencer Strider, 15-day IL, retroactive to the 18th of April. Strained right hamstring. Just when things were going well, he hurt it playing catch.
Yeah.
Playing catch. I mean,
yeah, he heard it on the field just throwing around. Well, he's got those monster hams and quads. And
this is the problem. See, too much working out. That's why I got hurt. That's how I swing it.
Because you're just so ripped and jacked and work out. You shouldn't have done it.
Oh, just so huge.
What was it? Ozzie Guillen said, "Fat don't pull, fat don't strain." So that learn from it. I'm okay with this. I saw this one happen live on one of my streams too, and is a hamstring. Like that makes me feel better. It wasn't an arm thing. Any arm, elbow, inflammation or discomfort or something like that, I would be really, really worried. He's just got those monster quads. They're seeping all over the place. Like I think we can be okay with this. It's not an arm thing. Spencer Strider, take a breath.
Still could miss a couple weeks though. I mean,
yeah, and it sucks, but
who's coming back by the way soon? He's in this. I'm gonna roll through the rest of these. Lance McCullers is gonna throw another bullpen session this week. Ben Rice is expected to be back today. He was out a couple days with the elbow issue. Clayton Kershaw is gonna make his next minor league start today in AA Tulsa. We'll tell you how that goes tomorrow. George Kirby is progressing with that shoulder issue to facing hitters. The Padres put Luis Ariz on the 7-day concussion list. No surprise there. Chase Mydroth went on the 10-day IL with that right thumb inflammation. Max Scherzer also with the thumb issue, throwing from flat ground on Monday. So we'll see, if he's throwing from flat ground Monday, yesterday, maybe in a week or so, he makes a rehab start, probably 2 of those. Then he'll buy somebody some earbuds or a food truck to all his teammates. And then he'll make 3 or 4 starts for the Blue Jays and get hurt again. That's what I assume.
Nice guy.
Pablo Lopez is going to rejoin the rotation today, which is great. That's great news. We're getting Pablo back. Dalton Varsho is going to continue his minor league rehab assignment today. And Jose Siri, we got a timetable for him now, 8 to 10 weeks with that tibia fracture. So with Siri out, the outfield spot opened up here for the New York Mets. Any thoughts on any fantasy value of, guys who could fill in that center field role, or no? We're just
not really. I mean,
Tyrone Taylors of the world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into Tyrone Taylor. I think they would you could put Jeff McNeil out there if he were healthy, but it would have been more interesting.
He's working his way back. That's the thing. I guess that's the big question. Do you move Nimmo to center and McNeil to left?
I think that's definitely a play because of Luis Angel Acuna. I would have been interested if Luis Angel Acuna was playing in the outfield or something like that.
That was my question too, is if you get that squeeze. So Vientos being hurt, Beatty played third yesterday. Now you're in a spot where, Acuna is such a phenomenal athlete. Can you kind of convert him into that center field? That would be really interesting. I think Acuna would be up for it, but that's a tough thing to do when you're at the major league level.
I just think they like him defensively where he is. Like, I think it's anyone else you put at second, it's a little bit more of a downgrade. So I think that's why he sticks. But I would just, like anything, like with the Lawler stuff with the Diamondbacks, I just want flexibility. Like, give me players with flexibility that don't bring up Jorge Barrosas and Tyrone Taylors of the world. Tyrone Taylor had a hit yesterday or whatever. Give me the really great players that have some position flexibility so we can get the best bats in the lineup as well. That's what I really want at the end of the day.
All the bats. Speaking of the best bats, it's time for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh. It's a Tuesday afternoon on the East Coast, which, by the way, lost the poll to West Coast. I'm shocked by that. Probably all of the East Coast people are all working right now.
West
Coast people are hanging out there, drinking your lattes on the water somewhere on the coast of California. Anyway, if you're looking to make some bets, make sure you use our fantasypros.com/leading off opportunity. New customers place their first bet, get $5 bet in there. You win it. You get 250 in bonus bets when you do. So make sure you use that. Again, fantasypros.com/leading off is the place to do it. Here's my bets for today. Nick Pivetta has been oh so good. So let's go over the K prop here. 6.5 for him. Bobby Witt Jr. just to drive in a run, plus 125. Boy, oh boy, that Royals lineup needs some help. I know Caglione hit another home run. I know his batting average is still low, but he's hitting homers. They need some help. They need the offense to pick up a little bit in Kansas City. Bobby Witt cannot do it alone. Your boy Chandler Simpson, plus 162 for a stolen base. Welsh, this might be the bet of the day. I'm looking at your boy Chandler Simpson, and I'm thinking to myself, you're giving me plus 162 for that guy in 4 chances to steal 1 base? I think we can get there. And then Corbin Carroll, who has not stolen a lot of bases, you're getting 3-1 on him. So plus 310. Welsh, what are your bets of the day for Tuesday?
Let's give a shout out to our boy Callie, by the way, Callie, absolutely flawless, just perfect performance on the bets. I see. Yeah, I mean, there is actually no spacing between Texas and first 5, but we're not going to point that out. We're going to just acknowledge that this is a flawless performance. Text 5. It's a representation of the hat. Yeah, exactly. No, Callie, we're not going to mention that you didn't put a space in between there. We're going to acknowledge that you did a great job.
Yeah, everything's fine. No floating J's.
Nobody noticed that. So for my bets today, we're going to go with Toronto first 5 money line for the day. We've also got Texas. Now, this is why I'm a sicko. First on the Toronto side, Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett has been absolutely phenomenal. I am worried there's a little bit of regression in the near future. I'm hoping this is not going to be in play, but I really like Chris Bassett right now. He has been holding down the runs. I'd even look at his earned runs under, and Toronto's offense just in general. So Toronto first 5 money line. So this is where I'm a sicko. Texas first 5 money line. They're going up against Beto and the A's. So on paper right there, you're like, wow, Texas is a plus through the first 5 innings. Beto's out there. Why is Texas? Because Patrick Corbin is on the mound. But Patrick Corbin was absolutely phenomenal. So this is where things are rubber meets the road. Unfortunately, the A's have the 4th best OPS versus left-handed hitters right now. So that works against us, and that's why that is plus money. But Patrick Corbin and that slider sweeper was ridiculous in the last outing. I'm banking on this Texas offense getting to Beto a bit, and I'm going to take the big plus money off of that performance that we had with Patrick Corbin. Likely is going to return as a pumpkin, but because I'm getting plus money with the offense and that Patrick Corbin performance, that's why I'm going plus 124 on the Tex 5 money line here with the big plus money. And then finally, Elly De La Cruz has been on it. He has had 2 extra base hits or 2 bases in, I believe it was 4 of his last 5 games. I really like this. It's bigger plus money against Edward Cabrera, plus 140 for 1.5 over total bases. We might look at him at homers as well. So I'm going with the total base prop and a couple first 5s today.
All right, those are the best bets for the day. Let's take a look at the home run board and see if anything has changed. Far out at 12, Marty at 12, still Cookie at 12, all the way. Welsh still at 9. Everyone's locked in. The winner's going to get the Sammy Sosa jersey. And the way you can get involved in the home run contest is join our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. That's the place to be. And every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, you can get your questions answered by the Welsh and Joe Rico. Yes, that Joe Rico. fantasypros.com/chat. Join it. Be on the show. It's a great opportunity for you to interact with Welsh and Joe. And if you don't get your questions answered here, you can go and get them answered on our Discord.
Also,
and of course, that's also where you can make your home run calls. Yes, Welsh?
You can do that. Also, we'll be announcing, we're actually going to be having a new time for that show. We're going to have it normal this week, but new time in future weeks. So make sure you tune in. So if you want to hang out live, there's a brand new time that we will be Discording it.
What do I get to know what time that is? So
it's a tease. No, it's a tease. It's a tease. Oh. You got to come on Wednesday to find out, and then I'll say it after. 100%. Right. By the way, in the chat, McGrady, it's my birthday. Can't we be nice? Do you see this wonky over Welsh? What am I doing?
It's just facts.
If I can have one day just to not have the capital L and be nice, it would probably be today. Ban him for ruining the birthday.
I don't see Mike Mayer here wishing you a happy birthday either.
Well, that was my gift. The gift that keeps on giving. Him not being here.
Beef wants to know, start by me against the Yankees today. It's a tough one. He's not been great. He's been a little underwhelming. They paid him and all of a sudden things haven't gone well. I think if you've got another option, I think you might sit this one out, Welsh. I honestly do.
It depends. If you're hugging ratios and stuff, like maybe not, but I would still get with it. Like the Yankees are striking out at one of the highest clips in all of baseball. So there's definitely some strikeout potential. You just worry he gets beat up. I would go for it unless I'm gripping on to ratios. But why are you doing that on Tuesday? You shouldn't be.
Yeah. If you grip onto the ratios too tight, you might
hurt your yo-ho.
It's no good. I'm going Corbin Carroll for my home run call today, plus 360. Welsh, where are you going for yours?
By the way, completely stole my home run call, but you got to it first. So I was going to say, what better East thing Coast. To do?
That's because I'm on the East Coast. I'm up earlier. You get the
but one. It was also, I was like, who would be the perfect person for a birthday home run for me? It'd be Corbin Carroll. And I look at the sheet and Joe has Corbin Carroll. So it's very disappointing.
Still take Corbin Carroll. I mean, we took Tatis together one time. I mean,
No, we're gonna go with Elly. Elly's on
Okay.
a big power push. I'm playing the total bases. He does have 2 homers in like 2 of his last 3 games or whatever. Edward Cabrera definitely gives up some bombs. I'm gonna go with Elly on a big fly today. I did have him higher, I think, than most people in the ranks, so there's a little bit of that. But Corbin Carroll should probably go yard today. Where in the world is Corbin and Welsh? Well, it's going to be hitting homers.
Yeah, Lindor is officially hot, Nate, 100%. And we're going to talk about who's hot and not right now, because we're going to leave this show and go do another show about who to trade for and who to trade away. We got some good stats and good numbers. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop your comments below right here. Who are you trading away? Who are you trading for? How excited are you about Nick Kurtz? Happy birthday, Welsh. All of that could win you the Nico Horner jersey. So do that right now. Subscribe to the channel. And we'll be back tomorrow on Twitch live yet again. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
What's up?
See my vest made from real gorilla chest. What did you watch when you were a kid? You don't watch The Simpsons? What'd you watch?
I watched The Simpsons, but I don't remember everything. I watch stuff.
That's what happens when you get old. You don't remember stuff. Now you're
old. I know. Pretty old.